Alright, so GamerVision.com here on the floor, PAX 07, Pirates of the Burning Sea, with John, lead producer. So John, describe Pirates of the Burning Sea for us.
Absolutely. So this is Pirates of the Burning Sea. It's a massively multiplayer online game, which is going to be coming out in the next few months. I can't say exactly when. Every player in the game is a captain of their own ship. You're in the Caribbean. It's 1720. Spain, France, England, and the Pirate Brotherhood are all out there mixing it up and fighting for treasure and so forth. As a captain, you're going to be getting into giant ship battles. As a sword fighter as well, you're going to be carving your way through enemies on land and at sea, executing all kinds of cool moves and so forth.
So apart from the obvious, time frame, what sets this apart from other MMOs?
The first and biggest difference is the combat approach. Ship combat is real-time and tactical. That means that you're driving your ship in real time, and your angle of attack matters, your speed matters, your relative motion matters, the kind of ammunition you're using. You aren't simply standing in one place and spamming your skill bar. You're actually having to navigate and steer and line up your shots, get your enemies into your firing arcs for your broadsides, and unleash all hell on them that way. The ship's been overrun by enemy pirates. Here at GamerVision, we're playing a British character right now. So talk to this dude, he's going to help you out. Sure thing, I'm good to go. This sounds awesome. Alright, head forward into the ship. And your first opponent's going to be down there on the deck. Okay. So, the circle at your feet is your balance bar. Balance is your defense. When your balance is high, you're hard to hit. When your balance is low, you're a pincushion. So, we want to reduce this balance and then get some attacks through. The number 2 skill is a prep attack. I believe that's correct. Yes, that's correct. Press 2. You see his balance has got drained. Do it again. Now, press number 1 for a damaging attack. There we go. His balance is going to regenerate steadily, so you've got to use a combination between prep attacks and basic attacks to punch through there. Now, you just earned enough initiative points to do a finishing move. That's the yellow bar up here. Finishing move is number 3 for a new character, and that's a skill called Cleave, I believe. And that's used to deliver a massive amount of damage on one block. So press 2 for your prep attack, 1 to your basic attack. There you go. Nice. Okay.
And growing. So you mentioned earlier that the PvP in this is going to be a little bit different. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. In fact, let's go ahead and kill this guy real quick and I'll show you something. In the game world, there's about 80 different towns across the entire game world, which is the whole Caribbean. And each of those towns is owned by either Britain, France, Spain, or the Pirate Brotherhood. Press the M key. Okay, so that's the world map. It's the Caribbean here. All these dots are ports. They're all owned by different nations. They're color-coded accordingly. And players in the game are competing to conquer the ports of enemy nations. So a bunch of players work together to destabilize an enemy port. Let's say British players want to conquer a Spanish port. They're going to run missions there. They're going to smuggle in gunpowder. They're going to break through blockades. And they're going to go hunting British ships around that area. And once they've done enough damage to that port, it flips it into PvP. There's now a big red circle on here on the map, and that means that right there in the open ocean, right in the middle of the game world, there's now a PvP area that's been turned on. And if you go sailing into those red waters, then you are now eligible for PvP. That PvP fight that you get into contributes more points to that port, either attacking or defending it. And after about 2 days of players on both sides jockeying each other to get points, we have a final battle. The final battle is 25 players versus 25 players. Gigantic fight, ship combat, land combat, capturing forts, using the forts to fire on the ships back and forth, and whoever wins that battle takes that port. So, ports are important because every port in the game generates resources, economic resources. Head back to the other side of the ship. And those resources are used for the economy. Players make everything in the game. Every ship, every cannonball, every sword, every piece of outfitting, all comes from players. So, the more ports your nation owns, the more access you have to all those economic resources. Which means that if you want to get the really cool giant ship of the line, then your nation needs to have the port with the deep harbor and the dockyard and the oak trees and all that kind of stuff they got to have to build those ships. So, players in the game, everything they do, whether they're hunting ships, running missions, or whatever, they're contributing to their nation trying to conquer the world and take over those ports. And the more they own, the more points they're earning. When one nation scores enough points, we declare a server-wide victory. Everyone in that nation gets a fat piece of loot that only comes from server victory. Then we reset the ownership of the ports. We give the underdog nation a handicap to start next time, and then we pick it off again and see where it goes.
So, are there any books or movies that you guys use to draw inspiration for?
Tons. Certainly the famous ones. The Hornblower series by C.S. Forrester, a great series of books. Patrick O'Brien series, of course, awesome. The movie of that, in fact, Master and Commander, we hired the sound designer from that movie to do our ship combat sounds. So all the cannons, the explosions, the sails billowing in the wind, all that stuff came right out of Hollywood, which is really fun for us. Those are big parts of it. Certainly, we began this project about 5 years ago. At that time, people told us, you know, pirates, they're kind of dead. How much is going on with pirates these days? And then Disney made this movie called Treasure Planet, and it turned out that they were right, pirates were dead. But happily, they made another movie after that, Pirates of the Caribbean, did very well, and happily, that's been a big help for us, really exciting as well to see that, you know, we knew it was out there. We knew there was just like people hungering for pirate action, hot, steamy pirate action, and we are finally poised to deliver all that action they demand.